In this video, we're going to learn how to give commands to the JackBord BASIC using the command line which is on the dashboard. And then we're going to try out some simple commands. This is the third video in this series about getting people beginning the JackBord BASIC up and running. For the full list of videos in this series, search the TMT code shown in the middle of the screen at jb.works. For this video, you're going to need one JackBord BASIC, a USB-C cable, and make sure that it's a data USB-C cable and not just a charging one, and a PC or a Chromebook that can run either Google Chrome or the Microsoft Edge web browser. The first thing we need to understand is what actually is a command. Basically, a command is a word or set of words that instruct a computer to do something. In fact, on older computers, the only way you could use them was by typing text commands. In the very early days of computers, commands were actually typed into large mechanical typewriters like the one shown here from 1933. So the terminal that was used was basically a large mechanical typewriter. Of course, these days, we have much better terminals. This is the command page on the dashboard, and this is where you can type commands to run on your JackBord BASIC. These are the different parts of the command line. Now the first part we have down here is this line at the bottom, and this is where you actually type the commands. And this white vertical bar is called the cursor, and it shows where the next character that you type will appear on the command line, and as you type it moves along. This is the results display area, or the little window, and that's where the results of your commands will appear. And finally over here we have the clear screen button. And what that does is it clears this results display area, getting rid of any text that was there from previous commands. There are three ways in which you can get to the command line. The first is via the start page, the second is via the command page, and finally the third is by using the Alt-X keyboard combination. When you first go onto the dashboard, you'll laterally land up on the command tab, which is this one here, and this is one of the command lines. The second way to get to the command line is through the Start tab. And as you can see on the left here, we have our own command line. And the good thing about the Start tab is that on the right-hand side, you also have a reference section for commands, so you can get help straight away with the different commands in the JackBord. And then finally, if you're on a page, say like the program page, if you press Alt-X on your keyboard, then the command line will automatically appear. And so I can type in commands and they'll run. And then likewise I can use the clear button over here to clear that screen. And to make this go away, you simply press Alt-X again on the keyboard. So these are the different ways in which you can get to the command line. Now we're going to try running some simple commands on the command line so you can get used to it. The hi command says hi and basically flashes the user LEDs on the JackBord BASIC random colors. The VS or view status command shows you the status of the JackBord BASIC. And finally the up command tells you how long the virtual JackBord has been running. Right, now we're going to run some of these example commands. So I'm on my dashboard, I'm connected to the JackBord BASIC. So I'm going to go online, then I click on Start. And that brings us to the command line. So the first one we're going to look at is the hi command. So if I type in hi and press enter, the JackBord BASIC will flash its user LEDs, lots of random colors, and then it comes back and says hi from 10ES. And the 10ES is basically the profile ID that we're using with this particular JackBord BASIC. So the next command is the VS or view status command. So if I type VS at the command line and press enter, it comes back with a whole bunch of information about what the JackBord is doing, the temperatures, the versions, etc. And then lastly, if I type up or UP and press enter, it tells me that my virtual JackBord has been running for 348 seconds. Now there's a trick you can use to recycle commands. So if I wanted to view the uptime again, I could just type up at the bottom of the command line there and press enter and then type it again. What you can also do is use the up arrow key on your keyboard to go through the command history. So if I want to run up again, I just press the up arrow key. If I wanted to run view status, I just press it up, press the arrow key until I get to VS. And so it just saves you a lot of typing. And then finally, if you want to get help on a command, if you click on the Command Reference tab, now let's say I wanted help on the up command. If you just type the first letter of a command, which in this case is U, and press enter, the dashboard will automatically show you only commands that start with that letter. And there's the help for the up command. Sometimes when you make a mistake at the command line typing in a command, you'll see the error shown below, which is basically the JackBord's way of telling you that it doesn't understand what you're trying to tell it. So I'm back on the command page, and if for example I type VSS instead of VS for view status, it comes back and said VSS is not a valid command. If I was to type just V, again it will tell me that it's not a valid command. So essentially if you see this error, it means that the JackBord doesn't understand what the command is that you're trying to type. So what you could do in the case of V is just come over to the command help and search for V, and then it will come back and show you all the commands that start with V. And last simple note is that commands are not case sensitive. So VS and then capital VS are the same thing as far as the command line is concerned. So I'm back here on the command line, and once again if I type VS in lowercase, the command works, but then if I type VS in capitals, it also works. So commands are not case sensitive. In the next video, we're going to learn how to control the user LEDs on the JackBord BASIC from the command line. To get to the video straight away, just visit jb.works and search the TMT code shown on the screen. For more information, visit jb.works.